What's up, everybody? Welcome to Pickleball Performance Podcast. This is your host, Cole, with Paddle Pro Balm, and this is episode 1. So welcome to the Pickleball Recovery and Performance Podcast. This is brought to you by Paddle Pro Balm. Today, for episode 1, we're going to be talking about the top 5 most common pickleball injuries and how we can prevent them so you can play longer, feel better, and stay competitive. So pickleball is actually one of the fastest growing sports in the world. Recently, they actually did a study worldwide and found out that if you combine all sports right now, as of last month, it still doesn't match to the rapid percentage of growth that pickleball is experiencing in the world. That's actually really cool. So let's start with injury number 1. The good old pickleball elbow. Pickleball elbow is very similar to tennis elbow or tennisitis, right? Where it hurts around the elbow and it gets stronger and stronger in pain. And, right now I've got a guy that I play with at our pickleball club, and about 2 months ago he was experiencing that pain coming on right under his elbow on the left arm. And so a week goes by, and it gets stronger and stronger. He was doing electric shocks, cold plunge versus hot therapy, even balms, which work and null the pain a little bit. But that is a deep injury, typically caused by the vibrational impact of certain paddles when hitting the ball on long drives and hard hits. But nonetheless, it is a brutal, brutal pain. And so this is something that is very, very wide throughout the pickleball and tennis communities. So there's a lot of things you can do to help this situation, but typically time is key here. But the Paddle Pro Balm that we make that's organic and plant-based actually helps the pain go away in about 5 minutes. The thing with this, though, is you got to use this a few times a day so that it transdermally goes in and starts to reduce the inflammation and sends red blood cells to the affected area to start healing those wounds. So, yeah, you got to kind of step out and lower your game a little bit, or if you're ambidextrous, switch arms. But that is definitely one of the very common pains I see in pickleball. So what's injury number 2? Oh, yeah. This one's for all, knee pain, especially as we get older. If you think about it, as you're running or staying back and then running in, trying to get close to that kitchen, or getting dives or corner shots or kitchen laps, ATP around the poles, you are constantly running, jumping, and stopping abruptly, which is putting a lot of pressure on those knees. There's a couple things that we can do to mitigate the reduction of this type of pain. The first thing is, as you get better, when you start, you're usually around a 2.0 duper, which I'll do a podcast on duper eventually. But it's basically your starting rating in the pickleball community world to kind of tell you where to place you so that it's not unfair or fair when you're playing in actual matches. But one of the things you can do is, as you get better, 3.0s, 3.5s, definitely 4.5s, 5s, and beyond, is that you find that pickleball is not demanding as the energy that you once started with. You feel like running around, it's fun, playing, getting that ball, it's really fun, but it's putting a toll on your body. You should save those like Messi does in soccer, where he just kind of walks on the field until he sees when he needs to pick the energy up. So you kind of want to go with that effort. The other thing, too, is to work your way and get familiar and more effective at the kitchen line. When you spread your legs and cover that square, whatever side you're on, you can just kind of sit there. Once you start to learn different hits with your arm and your elbow, you don't need to run and put pressure on your knees as much. But if you are suffering from knee pain, cold plunge versus hot tub therapy, sauna, steam rooms, stretching, and then also, and obviously, the famous pain relief balm by Paddle Pro. That will definitely help the pain right away, 5 to 10 minutes. And the more you use it, will transdermally attack that inflammation causing. So when you put all these things together and start to level up your game in pickleball, you will start to mitigate the risk that you suffer from pain in the knee. All right, so let's talk about injury number 3. Now, if you play pickleball or not, this is something that just seems to be pretty common, but it's that lower back tightness. Now, the first thing that I will tell you that's the most effective here is not a doctor. Sorry, it's not. When you have some lower back pain, we are accustomed to thinking that the doctor is the path, and it's often the last result that you should have, because it turns out if you just get uncomfortable and build a new habit of stretching that lower back in the morning and stretching that lower back in the evening before you go to bed, I mean, we're talking 8 minutes max, you will start to find that your back pain, being that it's not a torn disc or something of that nature, will start to go away. You'll actually start feeling younger. You'll start being able to bend more. You'll be getting balls on the pickleball court, reaching, stretching, corner shots that you've never imagined you can do, no matter what age you are. Stretching, in my opinion, is one of the best, if not the best, preventative measure to get that back pain and keep your body in tune. The problem is that people are lazy, straight up. People don't want to build a new habit that requires them to get out of bed and, kind of roll onto the floor and start doing your stretches in the morning. And then after a long day of work and, 82 hours of pickleball, joking, you don't want to do that before you go to bed. You want to eat a bunch of chocolate. You want to have beer that causes cancer and gives, fatty liver disease and beer bellies. And then you want to go to sleep and then wake up tomorrow and wonder why your back hurts. So my opinion here, and especially if you play pickleball, is to just build in those habits of stretching. I mean, call it 20 minutes a day, 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening. And if you need help, go on YouTube and just search, quick lower back stretches. And there is thousands of videos, very friendly to understand, that will help you channel that in. All right, let's move on to injury number 4. Calf strain. Now, I personally have a testament to this one. This one is, I played pickleball starting 3 years ago. About a year and a half in, I was playing a lot. And I felt my calf starting to hurt. And I ignored it because pickleball is just addicting like that. And so I started playing in higher tournaments and getting really strong in it, and all of a sudden I ripped that calf muscle, and I was out of pickleball for 45 days. Now, mind you, an injury like that on the calf, especially as deep as it was and how long I played on it, that is typically 6 to 7 month recovery in the normal world. But I used the Balm that we sell, the Paddle Pro Balm, and it transdermally started to send red blood cells and activate the endogenous, which means inner, cannabinoid system, and shoot red blood cells and produce cannabinoids in my body to start to heal that. So I was out about 45 days. But there is a couple things I'll give you for preventative measure. Number 1, you guessed it, my choppy choo-choos, it's stretching. Yeah, stretch that calf, a part of your morning and nightly routine. But also, it's your shoes. What type of shoes are you wearing when you go on the court? That matters. Trust me, it matters a lot. So get your shoes right. Find something that fits good. Get unlazy and start building that habit of stretching. And pick yourself up some Paddle Pro Recovery Balm at paddleprobalm.com and be able to use that, even before games if you want. It'll help loosen up those muscles inside. So. All right, number 4, actually, sorry, just joking. It's number 5 is shoulder pain. Now, shoulder pain is something I have not experienced playing pickleball, but it is in the top of injuries. And this is typically because, or you'll see it most commonly in the beginning of someone's pickleball life, because there is exact and professional ways to train your body to be able to hit balls, whether it's side outs, ATPs, long shots, third shot drops, long drives. And basically, this is pretty simple. You just want to start to use more of your arm midsection in kind of like you're pushing the ball instead of always just hitting and rotating that shoulder. That's going to mitigate the stress. But if you do have some shoulder pain, one of the best things for shoulder pain, more so than a lot of things, is the Paddle Pro Recovery Balm. because, again, it transdermally goes inside your shoulder. It starts to tell your body to send red blood cells to the affective area, at the same time activating your inner or endogenous cannabinoid system receptors, creating cannabinoids and sending both the red blood cells and the cannabinoids to the affective area in your shoulder, and thus causing a rapid reduction in pain relief and a rapid recovery process. All right, so let's talk about recovery. If you're serious about playing pickleball better, then you must take recovery serious. You can actually find some of these recovery initiatives by real-world people like us and others at our website at paddleprobalm.com to learn more. Just go on the About More tab, and you can find a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of good meat that'll help you. And we put it through in such a user-friendly, understanding way that you're not going to get lost on a website page wondering what you were doing there in the first place. So just to let you know, wanted to tell you about a lot of those top pains, because that is why we are here, Paddle Pro. But also, if you play pickleball, it's serious. I mean, it's a full body workout, and until you start to learn skills and until you start to understand that, basically that's the way that it goes, then you're going to have an experiencing probably most of these pain reliefs and pain injuries. So, it's pretty simple. Whether it's knee pain, back tightness, back injury, calf strain, shoulder pain, you got to get serious about recovery. If you are excited and look forward to the days that you play pickleball and it's something that you want a part of your life, then wouldn't you want to put recovery first? Get a recovery plan according to your body size, your past history of injuries, and just start to incorporate alongside your 7 million hours of pickleball play a week. You need to basically at least equal the amount of time in recovery, or at least half it. So if you play 2 hours a week, make sure you're getting an hour recovery. One of the best things I like to do is I like to go over to the gym, typically after, and then sometimes at night later after I was done playing. And I like to go in there and go into the cold plunge about 3 minutes to start, sit in the hot tub for about 5. Then I get out and do breathing treatments, focus my mindset on the injuries or my legs, stretching my legs. And I find that this keeps me always in the game. Ever since I incorporated that after my first experience of calf strain, I have not been out. I haven't had an injury that has put me out of pickleball, which makes me happy, keeps my mental state balanced, and helps with my ADHD as well. So this is something that I would recommend definitely on episode 1 of our podcast by Paddle Pro Balm, is if you're going to play pickleball, you're planning to, you already do, you've been playing 10 years, you're a pro athlete, whatever it may be, you want to quickly and rapidly incorporate a recovery plan. And the simple way I would tell you to do that is, again, if you're playing 4 hours of pickleball a week, put 2 hours aside through that week for recovery. So you can slice those minutes up however you like. I would probably start by the stretching, morning and evening, 20 minutes a day, right? Add that towards your 2 hours. Cold plunge, even if it's just putting your feet in at first, all right? I know it sucks. It's cold. But I'm telling you, it'll heal it quickly. And then use the Paddle Pro Recovery Balm. It's affordable. It's rapid. It's 5 stars. It is absolutely incredible. And it's going to be the thing that as you're at work, as you're on the court, as you're driving, as you're doing ballerina training, dancing over in Wisconsin, it does not matter. That's going to continuously work while you go upon your normal day. And it's going to feel good too. And so if you have or are suffering from pain, you're going to get that pain relief pretty quickly, but it's going to heal it over the days that you're applying it to your body. It's non-greasy too, so you don't have to worry about that. It doesn't smell like pretty pennies or lavender flowers out of Wisconsin. It just is incredible. And you can pick that up at paddleprobalm.com. We actually have bundles on there too. One size, believe it or not, the one size we offer lasts about 3 to 4 months on an average 4-hour-a-week person playing. So, yeah, I would definitely recommend that. But so, thank you again for tuning in to Episode 1, Pickleball Recovery and Performance Podcast, brought to you live by paddleprobalm.com. Don't forget, you can find us around at USA Pickleball at the events of Golden Tickets, and definitely don't forget to come down to San Diego in November, October-ish, for the Nationals, the largest pickleball tournament in the world. And look for your friends, the Pain Bomb Boys, over at the paddleprobalm.com tent. And as far as that goes, happy Monday to you guys. Blessings upon all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please share and spread the word. Hit repost if this lands on your podcast platform. And always forget to live your best life and love the one you're with. Thank you for tuning in to the Pickleball Recovery and Performance Podcast, brought to you live by Paddle Pro Balm. Have a blessed day.